some people might be wondering like what some of the differences are between Overland Adventure and Ultimate Adventure. Overland is much more about exploring the backcountry and taking the road less traveled, but not necessarily the most difficult road less traveled, seeing the beautiful vistas. In this case, this year, it's been a ton of history, which I am a huge World War II history buff. I've always wanted to explore the Desert Training Center. Never had the opportunity to do it until this week, and so that's been amazing to me. You know, we're really not far from a major interstate, and we've traversed some incredible terrain that 99% of the people that are on that interstate will never see. And there's some incredible beauty out here, and no matter where you are, some people think, you know, this desert, this is just, you know, it's kitty litter. No, it's the exact opposite, and that's why we're all here. It's just to explore the road less traveled.
I've always been a huge fan of FourWheeler magazine. I've been four-wheeling for 20 plus years. You know, get on social media and I just following them, you know, and I've always been a huge fan of Ultimate Adventure, right? And knowing full well that my Isuzu was never going to make Ultimate Adventure, saw Overland Adventure pop up, and it was like, what is this? And so then I started, you know, of course we got Motor Trend TV, so we were looking at, you know, watching it on TV and got on YouTube and was looking at that and going, oh, well, that's kind of cool, and it's not quite Ultimate Adventure, but we could have a lot of fun, and it looks like an adventure, and we're always about the adventure. We've been married for 28 years, and that's been our whole life together has been, let's have adventures. So, in kind of a post-COVID world, it was kind of fun to be able to get out with good people and get out in the middle. So we applied and actually got a notification that said, thanks, but you weren't selected this year. And then like 3 days later, got another email that said, hey, had someone back out, do you want to come? And we said, oh yeah, we're in. Let me back up. I said, oh, absolutely, we're in. And then I went to Molly and said, hey, we got selected for this thing and we need to go in like a few weeks. And she said, okay, and here we are. Ton of fun.
Next adventure, here we go.
That's right.
I'm Tim, and my partner Kelsey is here, and she's the reason we're here. Previous to Jeeps, my off-roading was in military vehicles, and I met Kelsey in 2016, and she is into off-roading in Jeeps. She bought a Wrangler, and I wanted a Wrangler, and then when I was done with the Wrangler, I bought this beautiful Gladiator. If you want to do this to the extreme, then you have to have a Jeep, as far as I'm concerned. The trail's been amazing so far, and typically I have to drive all the time. Kelsey has been driving this entire trip, and not only has the Jeep been doing amazing, she's been doing amazing. I mean, we've been on some trails in our other Jeeps where, you know, she's like, oh, I'd rather get out because the off-camber. She's sucked them up and driven right through them, and it's been amazing. The camaraderie, all the people here, it's incredible. We love it. We love this kind of thing.
I've been four-wheeling. I grew up four-wheeling with my dad. I mean, from the time I bought a 1969 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40 as my first vehicle when I was 16 years old, and fixed that up, and I've been four-wheeling ever since. In fact, I've still got a couple of FJ40s. And then Megan has always been pretty into it the whole time growing up. All my kids grew up four-wheeling, but out of the three, Megan really took to it the most. So now we've got her an 04 TJ that's set up so we can go out together and do some rock crawling. I take one of my FJ40s or take my FJ40 and she'll take her TJ and we'll go out.
Yeah, so here on day 3, and kind of looking back, highlights, definitely going up the dunes. You know, I did narrow down, I didn't think anything about it, I just sort of went for it with 40 PSI and got stuck, back down, got stuck again. I'm like, okay, I'm rethinking this one, you know, with 12,000 pounds of bread box trying to go up the dune. But that was super fun watching everybody go up the dunes. Just seeing what 37-inch tires will do is really cool. So that was definitely a highlight. I loved rock crawling and going through the spine. The spine of that Red Canyon Jeep Trail was super killer. You know, a little death-defying. The shelf road stuff was really cool.
This is great because it's such a huge community, you know, and there's so many people out here that, you know, we haven't even had a chance to talk to everybody yet, meet everybody, but you know, the whole goal is to meet them and explore everything with them, learn about the culture and the you know, the history of this place, you know, and just see everything. I mean, what is there not to love? You know, everything we see out here is things that we only see in images, or we see in books, or we see in movies, and so now we're actually out here living it, and that's a dream come true.
Overland Adventure 22 has been about 2 years in the making, at least from the original ideation of it. And this is one of my favorite places of the desert. And I knew I wanted to bring people out here to expose them, because when you think of California, you don't always think of what we did. I wanted to have a through line and a story to tell, and this year's story was the General George S. Patton Desert Training Center. A lot of people don't realize that Patton came and trained our troops for the invasion of North Africa for World War II right here in the California Mojave Desert. And where we're standing right now in Goffs, California was actually one of the logistic camps called Camp Goffs. And here is the Mojave Desert Heritage and Cultural Association. I knew this would be the absolute perfect spot to intertwine history, military, and the Mojave Desert, and intertwine those things into one awesome trip. We ended up visiting 4 or 5 of the camps. We did over 350 miles of off-roading, all types of vehicles, and it was just an unbelievable trip. I narrated the entire time and let people know sort of like what they were looking at, what the geology was, the botany, the history, what you were looking at over there, what those lines in the desert meant. All the things that when you typically drive by on the freeway, you would never give a second thought to. The thing is, so many people pass through the California desert, whether it's on the 40 or the 10 or the 15 on your way to Vegas, Phoenix, or Flagstaff, and you don't think twice about the desert. A lot of people find it as like this wasteland. And what I want to do is change that perception and bring people into all the beauty, the wildlife, the history, and the things that are beyond those major highways. When you see that long desert road that goes off into the sunset, what's down that road? Well, on this trip, we took people down that road. Overland Adventure overall was an amazing success. We owe it to the sponsors and partners who stepped up to join us, like Falken Tire. And again, 350 miles of off-road in the desert, especially the Mojave Desert. It's everything. It's sand, it's rock, it's gravel, it's mud. I mean, we really saw everything on this trip, and you have to have a tire that you can count on that's going to be reliable to get you there and get you back. And we had the right tire for the trip, and we were so happy and really fortunate that Falken's decided to be a partner again. And I think it was a great mix, and what an amazing trip. Can't wait to do it again next year.